Hey, what's up, guys? So, don't know if you want to call it part two, but anyway, this is the rest of the stuff I found on my recent trip to Michigan. We stopped on some thrift store and some teak malls, because that's what me and my wife like to do together for different reasons. I visit also a friend store in Utica, is that spell it? Utica, Michigan, owned by Sarge and Red. It's one of the thing we one of the sorry, there you go. There's the information right there. Which was one of the two main thing I want to see during my trip, together with Static Tapes video. Um, I guess I start from Sarge and Red. Fine. So they had a great selection of vintage toys and newer toys. The price of the newer stuff and the vintage stuff, either of the two, are really good. I was amazed actually. That's why I decided to grab a couple of pieces. I wouldn't, compared to other stores we got locally, I was expecting to find higher price. I was shocked how good they were the price, so I decided to purchase more than a piece. That being said, we had Trinitero NECA Terrifier Art the Clown. It's one of the fresh, just a release. Another brand new one. We have the Lon Chaney as the Phantom of the Opera. These are the Toonie Terror classic monster. They had the other two, but I decided to pass. I grabbed some other stuff that I like. They had Children of the Corn, excuse me, Trick or Treat set. It's kind of older, and they're actually smaller compared to some new releases they did. Like, yeah, I think they're slightly smaller than what I got from there. I don't remember. I think I got a Captain Spaulding. And I'm trying to think. There's another Trick or Treat that I got. I don't recall it right now. Art the Clown. So they're slightly smaller than those. So those are one of the earliest release, I believe. So, but they're still cool. In another store, they had a bunch of Halloween stuff. I was debating for a while to grab these because I have a bunch of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I decided to get it just because first time I see in person with a graphic, they're really cool. These are from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course, Leatherface, and the packaging is so cool because it's actually the same graphic that I have on the VHS actually. So I decided to go for. It's gonna be decide to decide open it or not, to be honest. But we will see. I like so much the packaging. Anyway, like I mentioned in the beginning, we went to some antique malls and stuff like that, and in one of them, I found this cool book from Steven J. Zaloga, or I think that's how you spell it. It's a book about modern American armor. This is a 1982 book. So with that being said, I think it's like $5. Not huge, but you know, they can basically cover in the APC, the anti-aircraft, or amphibious vehicles, tanks, stuff like that. And I bought it mostly because there's first of all a bunch of pictures with information about older tanks, but a bunch of Cold War era picture, like for example, this Leopard 1A4, I think it's Canadian, with a M113. And like I said, a bunch of like I said, cool Cold War, and I got a bunch of also older vehicle, or prototypes or stuff like that. I don't want to find anything, but like I said, very very interesting. Like for example, like a bunch of artillery pieces, really interesting. Yeah, for $5, I'm like, hey, yeah, I'll get it. Other than that, it's gonna get a little shady over there. Find out. Sorry about the squeaky chair. Well, different antique malls and thrift stores, stuff like that. So I grabbed a couple of things. Some are for me, some for my friends. So, I'm thinking. One store on the way back, I found a Monster Party. It's a classic animation, puppet animation thing with all the monster and Boris Karloff in it. And then I found in one of the thrift stores. I found Ants, which is a 1970s horror movie. Some killing ants. Never heard of it, but it was super cheap, and so I grabbed it. Not super minty, but again, it's a thrift store. Require a little cleaning. I do that anytime when I touch anything from a thrift store, stuff like that. And then I got a Navy Seals, different version from mine. This is one of the modern reprint. So I decided to grab it. It go together with the regular version that I have, and I mean VHS was 99 cents. So then again, same store. I got Harry and Anderson, which I might have seen it many years ago in Italy. So I decided to go for it for like I said, for 99 cents. It's no brainer, of course, plus taxes, but it's no brainer. Then I found the Son of the Pink Panther. All of them require a little cleaning. This is a little fade, I think, but cool cast, and Roberto Benigni in it. So I decided to, again, for 99 cents, it's one time. The Good Son, which I do have, this is gonna go to a friend, and his pile of other stuff that I'm preparing for him. Then let me see what I got. And last but not least, as far as thrift store, I found a Terror in Thickwood. This is part of the series, the thriller called TV series called Thriller with Boris Karloff at the beginning. It's Ost, so I decided to grab it because I have another one. I think it's called the Grim Reaper, the one I have, the other one, if I remember correctly. Then I got seems like a sealed copy, kind of the Shining 4. Psycho 4, sorry, long day. It's sealed, so that was $4, so it's worth something. Then I got Capricorn Worms, the classic sci-fi spy movie. I'm gonna watch probably soon. The Hindenburg, which is disaster movie with George Scott. Director Robert Wise, and it's a classic 1975 disaster movie about the Hindenburg, the big Led Zeppelin thing, the kind of fire, whatever. So what happened, we don't know. People still figuring out if it was disaster or somebody did it. And then I have Silent Rage with Chuck Norris, which I did have, but again, I bought it for my buddy because it's one of the few Chuck Norris horror movies, if you will. So I decided to get it for him. I think they were like, this was like $2, $2.50 or something like that, and the sound was 99. So anything was between 99 cents and $2, except for one that I'm gonna take it out. The Cave. This was a little more expensive. It was $5-6, and Psycho was like $4. Not a mintiest packaging, but it's a fairly late release. If you look at the tape, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, see, it's different. So I think it was 2005, so it's pretty recent. It's not super mega worthy movie, but again, whatever they're asking is probably what it's worth. On the classic black and white that I just watched in DVD a couple of nights ago, on a 2-pack with Metropolis, which makes sense in a way. It's called label on the middle. Let me take off the label. There you go. It's called Things to Come. Unfortunately, somebody cut the top of it, which sucks. No one gonna cut any, do a cut off, probably I could, but I'm gonna leave it like that, it's okay. Maybe I put a piece of cardboard and some tape. Really cool black and white movie from 1940 with based on H.G. Wells story, and it's a weird perspective on the future based on what the people were told about the future in 1940. Last but not least, a classic movie, William Devant and Tommy Lee Jones, Rolling Thunder. That's a great movie that I watched fairly recently, actually, in DVD that I found on sale. The tape has a little teeny bit of mold, so that it goes on the pile of tape to clean, which I started and eventually I finished. It's really dusty too. So we're gonna do wow, it's a lot of dust. It's gonna need a lot of cleaning, but I'm glad I had it for now, and I go on the pile. Like I said, I got a pile going on. And eventually I'm gonna buy the 3D printer cleaner they're selling on Instagram. I think that's the name of the company. Good Tapes, I think it's called. With that being said, that's a quick video. I hope you like it. A little bit of everything. That was fun. I spend some time with my wife looking for stuff. As always, God bless you, God bless America, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.